Good morning. Isn't it a good morning? It's a great morning to praise Jesus. If you are willing and able, will you just stand with us as we glorify God? Here every weekend as we come to praise the Lord. And we do that in a variety of different ways, and of course we do that through song. Look, I'm not naive to think that music is everyone's thing, and it's definitely not always the way. It's not the only way that we can connect and commune and communicate with God, but it is one way. And so we want to encourage you as we gather each weekend to do this, that we're here. for the first two songs together. That we stay. We don't rush out or kind of check out after the message. That this is a time that we have to gather communally, but also just independently, where we can respond to the Lord. And maybe you've come from a week that's been very busy or just distracted in general. And this is a time where we can reflect. Maybe we don't participate through singing. Maybe you're listening. Maybe you're reflective in prayer. And you're just asking to hear from the Lord. But be present in these moments physically, but also mentally and emotionally, to see what it is that God wants to continue to reveal to you. And also, as we praise, we sing these songs to remember. We recount truth from His Word together as we sing. We sing to replace, like we just said, to replace thoughts of fear and doubt and anxiety, to combat against the lies of the enemy, right? We're putting into our mouths, into our minds, thoughts from God's Word about who He is and how good He is. And so this next song that we sing, there's a part that we sing, there's never been a day, there's never been a minute, there's never been a moment that you weren't in it, God. And we're counting His faithfulness. Maybe you're thinking about your life going like, I don't know if I can say that, or maybe I'm young and I don't know through my life's experience, do I have these recollections that God has honestly been with me every moment? And if we believe that His Word is true, and it says that He will never leave us or forsake us, and so many times He tells us not to be afraid because He is with us, that if we already don't know this truth, that there will be a point in our life someday where we can say with great confidence, God, there has never been a day, there's never been a minute, there's never been a moment that you weren't in. He saw us through the circumstance. Maybe it didn't turn out the way we were praying or wanting, but it doesn't mean that He ever left us in it. He is always with us. So if we believe that, let's sing or let's pray. However you want to respond to God in this moment. Jesus, we just worship you. We worship you, Jesus. And I remember how you provided, how you held me through the night. And I remember how you sustained me when you stepped in to save my life. And if I knew then what I know now, I would be still and let you work it out. Let's sing. Jesus, I was tossed in the water, but I never went under. You were always on time. Jesus, when I went through the fire, you were right there beside me. You were always on time. You were always, always, always on time. You were always, always, always on time. And I remember how you carried when I couldn't take a step. And I remember how you loved me when I couldn't love myself. Oh, Jesus, God is so good. As you guys are taking a seat right now, we're just going to use this opportunity to dismiss our Crosspoint kids and our students. Crosspoint kids, kindergarten through 5th grade, are going to exit through the back. We've got a lovely gentleman with a sign. And then our middle school and high school students are going to exit right out the front with Ryan right here. Again, that's Crosspoint kids, kindergarten through 5th grade through the back. And then our high school and middle school students are going to exit right through the front. And if you're newer here and you just want to check and see where your kiddos are going, feel free to do that. Just join us right back here for the remainder of service. And here's Jeremy.
Hey, good morning, guys. Oh, look at that. I got fan club. Yeah, I love this. Hey, raise a hands. How many people have watched more curling in the last 24 hours than their entire life? I know, right? Like curling? Anyway, very cool. Hey, welcome to Crosspoint, where we're all kinds of people discovering and following Jesus. My name is Jeremy. Got a couple things to go through in our program this morning. And if you are a regular, you're like, hey, this thing is thick. There's something really cool in here that I want to go through. Do me a favor. Let's hold on to that last. So pull out this neat thing here that says launch and just set it aside, and we will get to it, I promise. Then you know what you need to do. First, get out your connection card. Get out your connection card, write your name on it, and then let's just go through this real quick. What am I writing on this, Jeremy? Do you have any prayer requests? Do you have any exciting things happening? Do you have any questions? This is where you're going to put those things, guys. And on the back side of the connection card, hey, is there a way that we can plug you in and to serve? And then at the end of service, we're going to hand blue buckets if you're new here. And you can put that connection card right on in that blue bucket. And we collect those things. And you can also give your giving, you can also put in the blue buckets at the end of service. The other thing is this: if you're not a paper pencil kind of person, you can always use your phone. So we have an app. Pull the app up. Everything's on there. The one thing that's really interesting on the app is if like this part where, well, I want to serve, like maybe I could serve, I don't know if some people don't want to raise their hand like I'm ready to serve unless you're like, wait, what am I going to be doing? Hey, if you go on the app, they have it all listed there. This is where we need people. All right, so go on there and do that. The next thing is on the loop. I'm going to go on the loop backwards because we're going to save the launch for last. So the first thing in reverse order, we have for the men's ministry, we have a fireside chat, and that's going to come up on February 28th. So that's just for the guys. It's going to be in the evening on that Saturday. Come hang out as just dudes. It's a time, again, to meet, to be together, talk dude stuff. Dudes talk differently, when the ladies aren't around. So, I was going to say something crass, but I'm not going to say that. So second thing in reverse order, Tuesday is I said every 10 minutes, but Take 10, and it's a time that we find, I don't know, I'm just going to speak for myself real quick. I've just found so much joy in finding that time to make sure that I'm engaging with my Lord. And I would just, I would say earlier I was going to challenge. I'm not challenging, I'm just encourage you. Find that time, put it on your calendar. Where are you going to find that time? Take at least 10 minminutes, and there's nothing wrong with taking 20 or 40. But take that time. That's this Tuesday. Just please make sure. I would just encourage you. You're going to find joy in it. And then the last thing, let's go to the launch. So what is this? We are coming up in 2 weeks. It is going to be our service where we're going to talk more about, hey, what our vision is here at Crosspoint. And this is a look back. It's like 10 pages thick. And the first 8 are all just looking back at what we've done. There's some exciting things in here. So like, for example, if you open it up on page 3, it says, we've increased our growth here at Crosspoint by 17.16%, which is pretty exciting, right? Well, at first service thought it was more exciting. I think it's pretty exciting, right? I was talking to Rebecca in the back, and what's even crazier? Our kids ministry has grown by almost 40%. So it's just really exciting to see this. But where are we going to go with this, right? That's the whole point of a vision, right? Okay, we've come this far, but now where do we go? So be here in 2 weeks when we're going to talk more about that, and more information will come out. But look in here and look through that. If you have any questions about where we're going, what our vision is, where we've been, That's another thing you can put on your connection card. Okay, that being said, get your Bible out. Let's jump into where we are at in Shadow Kingdoms. We are back in 2 Samuel. If you don't have a Bible, there's a Bible underneath the seat in front of you. All right, take care, guys.
Yeah, just in case you're not. Hey, there's some people right up now in Big Bear. They have a Big Bear, not an official Big Bear campus. They're up there watching the Super Bowl. They're tuning us in. He sent me a screenshot. So, hey, you people up in Big Bear. The Vision 26 thing that Jeremy just told you about is a report that's in there, annual report that kind of looks back where we've been, and then some big things that we're coming forward to this next year. Here at Crosspoint, we don't want our church services to be full of just a bunch of business and stuff like that. So we have both the longest business meeting and the shortest business meeting all at once. The longest means that for the next 2 weeks now, you have a chance to do what you would do at a normal business meeting, to raise your hand, ask a question about the budget, about our leadership teams, about whatever. You can do that by emailing me or texting me or calling the church and asking those questions the next 2 weeks. And then on the weekend of the 21st, 22nd, we have the world's shortest, Guinness Book of World Records, shortest business meeting, last 13 seconds, where we just give a chance to vote over the big decisions that we have in there. All that's outlined there for you in the book. We're not going to do a boring church business meeting. We hate those. So if you can take a chance and take a moment and look at that stuff that's in the Vision 26 annual report, that would be awesome. 2 Samuel chapter 15. Picture this now. It's the Netflix or Hulu Prime Video miniseries on David, and it says, as the music swells and comes up, and then it says on the screen, after this, ... That's the first two words of chapter 15. And after this makes you think, after what? Well, then we get the flashback. It fades to black and then fades back up to the previous week where Absalom, the king's son, David's son, they have a difficult relationship. It's bad. They're not speaking. Absalom's been in exile for like four or 5 years. Hasn't even seen his dad in 4 or 5 years. And then at the end of last week's episode, they come together, the music swells up, and Absalom comes walking into the palace, and David sees him, and there's a hug, there's an embrace, and like, oh, awesome. Everything's going great now. Ever been part of a church, ever been part of a family where it seemed like everything was going great? And you knew, just be around, stick around, just look a little longer, just scratch a little bit at this thing. It's not as great as everybody thinks it is, and it's not. It says here, after this, Absalom bought a chariot and horses, and he hired 50 bodyguards to run ahead of him. You know who does those kind of things? Kings do. He's not the king yet. He's trying to act like a king, give the impression that he's the king. He's got a chariot, he's got 50 bodyguards with him. He got up early every morning and went out to the gate of the city. When people brought a case to the king for judgment, Absalom would ask where in Israel they're from, and they'd tell him their tribe. The people come to the gate, to the palace for judgment by somebody that David had appointed, the judge, to help figure out things. Then Absalom would say, you've really got a strong case here. This is what all politicians do, right, when you meet them? Oh, I feel you. I feel you. You got a strong case here. Not one time does he go, you're a loser. Just get out of here, pal. You're just go back and whine to your mommy. Doesn't do any of that. He says, you really got a strong case here. It's too bad the king doesn't have anyone to hear it. In other words, it's too bad the king isn't really doing his job, doing what he's supposed to do. I wish I were the judge. Then everyone could bring their cases to me for judgment, and I would give them justice. This is what politicians do. There's a problem out here. There's a big line out here. Nobody can get in to see anybody. Even the kings, his king's advisory council, nobody is doing their job here. When people tried to bow before him, Absalom wouldn't let them. Instead, he took them by the hand and kissed them. Absalom did this with everyone who came to the king for judgment, and so he stole the hearts of all the people of Israel. He's the king's son. And the king's son, what you would do in that culture back then, We don't do it so much here. There would be a sense of, hey, he's the king's son. You bow and, oh, no. Grabs him. Hey, I'm with you guys. You and me, I got you. He's not acting like royalty. He's becoming a populist leader, a man of the people. And politicians who do that well usually get themselves elected or appointed, governor, king, president, whatever. After 4 years, did I miss anything here? Hang on. No, we're good. After 4 years, Absalom said to the king, let me go to Hebron to offer a sacrifice to the Lord and fulfill a vow I made to him. For while your servant was at Geshur in exile for 4 or 5 years at Aram, I promised to sacrifice to the Lord in Hebron if he'd bring me back to Jerusalem. Now, you and I hear the word Hebron and think, is that some new car that Tesla is putting out? Hebron's a city in Jerusalem. Hebron was the first capital of the nation of Israel. Before Jerusalem was the capital, which it is now, it was Hebron that was the capital. David, who's the current king, guess where he got anointed and appointed king? In Hebron. So he's going back to a place that everybody knows is a major political stronghold there, has all kinds of significance there. All right, the king told him, go and fulfill your vow. So Absalom went to Hebron. But while he was there, he sent secret messengers to all the tribes of Israel to stir up a rebellion against the king. As soon as you hear the ram's horn, his message read, you are to say, Absalom has been crowned king in Hebron, Hebron, Hebron. He took 200 men from Jerusalem with him as guests. They knew nothing about his intentions. He's just trying to create like this sense of he's got a lot of people behind him. He has 50 bodyguards, his chariot, and he's got 200 people that are just, wherever he goes, he's creating a ruckus. While Absalom was offering the sacrifices, he sent for Ahithophel, one of David's counselors who lived in Gilo. Soon many others also joined Absalom, and I have this underlined, and the conspiracy gained momentum, so it's working. He is a coup right now. He's done all these political maneuvers to make everybody think, look at me, I'm kind of like a king, and now he's got a whole coup that he's going here to throw out his dad as the king and to become the king himself. It says he sends for Ahithophel, and you and I hear Ahithophel and go, who's that? Ahithophel would be like the Secretary of Defense or the finance minister, a key advisor in David's kingdom. He's one of the key people here, and he's really smart, he's really wise. One of the reasons David has been successful here is Ahithophel has given him wise advice and wise counsel over and over again, and it says all of a sudden Ahithophel has now joined Absalom. He's said, forget you, David, I'm going to go with Absalom. David, I think, writes about this in Psalm 41, verse 9, where he says this, even my close friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted his heel against me. The sense of betrayal that he feels there. We probably can't get a big sense of that unless we kind of modernize a little bit. So anybody remember a basketball player named Michael Jordan? Chicago Bulls? Back in the day, I watched basketball a lot. I wasn't married with children at that point. So I had time to watch dumb sports like basketball. So I'd watch it. And the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan were amazing. There was a team that these two teams hated each other. The Detroit Pistons and the Chicago Bulls hated each other. Not just didn't like each other, hated each other. There was a guy one time went up into the stands to fight somebody because he was so mad. So, guys, these people hated each other. This would be like back in the day, all of a sudden the breaking news on ESPN was that Michael Jordan has left the Bulls and is now going to be with the Detroit Pistons. Like, whoa, what's going on here? It's a big, big deal. A messenger soon arrived, look at verse 13, in Jerusalem to tell David, all Israel has joined Absalom in a conspiracy against you. It's not a local little thing here. Absalom has done his work here. He's got people all over Israel that are joining him in this conspiracy to overthrow David and have Absalom be the king. Then we must flee at once, or it'll be too late, David urged his men. Hurry. If we get out of the city before Absalom arrives, both we and the city of Jerusalem will be spared from disaster. So it's a little protectionistic, like, hey, we could die, some of you guys could die here if he brings all these people, and like this is a city that he's built and that he loves. The people that are here, the innocent victims of this, will be laid siege to, they'll be starved into submission, and if they come in with the army, they'll kill a bunch of these people here. Let's just leave quietly and preserve the peace. We are with you, his advisors replied. Do what you think is best. So the king and all his household set out at once. He left no one behind except 10 of his concubines to lay after the palace. The king and all his people set out on foot, pausing at the last house to let all the king's men move past to lead the way. He's leaving town here. We're leaving town here. They stop at the last house along the way, and everybody kind of stops there to let David and the key people kind of, it's a bad parade. It's not a celebratory parade. It's a, And they're capturing a moment here as they leave the city past the last house. There were 600 men from Gath who had come with David, along with the king's bodyguard. Then the king turned and said to Ittai, a leader of the men from Gath, "Why are you coming with us? Go on back to King Absalom." See what he's doing here? He knows it's done. I'm no longer the king. My son has now become the king by this coup. For you are a guest in Israel, a foreigner exile. You arrived only recently, and should I force you today to wander with us? I don't even know where we'll go. What he said, I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Go on back and take your kinsman with you, and may the Lord show you his unfailing love and faithfulness. But Ittai said to the king, "I vow by the Lord and by your own life that I will go wherever my lord the king goes, no matter what happens, whether it means life or death." And David replied, "All right, come with us." So Ittai and all his men and their families went along. What Ahithophel should have done was stay with David no matter what. And now here's this foreigner from a place called Gath. Gath is one of the major Philistine cities. The Philistines were on the southwest border of the nation of Israel. And the Philistines and Israelites, they always had conflict, difficult things going on. And what had happened back before David was king, he's a little punk shepherd kid out there. He hears about the Philistines fighting the nation of Israel in the army. And the Philistines have a champion. His name is Goliath. Guess where Goliath is from? Gath. So Ittai is from Gath. If anybody had a chance to go, hey, here's the chance now to get back at this punk kid, a chance to go, okay, I'm going to go with them, get this guy thrown out here. He to overthrow our country. We're now in submission to Israel. So if he had a chance to go, look, this is my moment opportunity, he could do it. But instead, he shows solidarity to the king instead of giving in and going along when the king is struggling. He stays with the king no matter what. He says, hey, wherever you go, I'm going to go. There's another great event that happens. It's in the book of Ruth. Tells the account of his Moabite girl named Ruth who meets this Israeli boy, and it's Naomi's son, and marries him. But then Naomi's son dies. And Naomi says, look, girl, you got to go back to the Moabite city and countries and all that, where your people are. And Ruth says this great thing. It's going to be up here on the screen. She says this. She says, I'm not going to leave you. Don't urge me to leave you or turn back from you. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. Your people are my people, and your God is my God. She stays loyal, even in very, very difficult circumstances. And so the story happens now in these events here where they're leaving Jerusalem. There's a parade going out of town. Verse 23, everyone cried loudly as the king and his followers passed by. They crossed the Kidron Valley and then went out toward the wilderness. Zadok. Okay, moms, dads, you want a cool name for your kid? Right there. We need a Zadok at Crosspoint. Please, somebody, have a child, name him Zadok. You shouldn't name a girl Zadok, that'd be bad, but a dude could handle that. Zadok and all the Levites also came along, carrying the Ark of the Covenant of God. They set down the Ark of God, and Abiathar offered sacrifices until everyone had passed out of the city. They bring the Ark here. They're doing a spiritual, religious ceremony here. Then the king instructed Zadok to take the Ark of God back into the city. What David is saying here is this. We're not going to use the ark as a good luck ark, like as a religious thing here. They tried this a couple of times. It didn't work, but he says, take that ark back into the temple tabernacle where it belongs. We're not going to use God that way by using God's box, the Ark of the Covenant, to somehow get him to back our side. And then he prays this prayer. If the Lord sees fit, David said, he will bring me back to see the ark and the tabernacle again. But if he is through with me, then let him do whatever seems best to him. So David has this prayer of surrender. It's a prayer of trusting the providence of God. Look, I'm yours, God, he says, and if you're done with me, then you're done with me. I would love to go back there again and be the king again. If you're done with me, you're done with me. He kind of surrenders himself to the providence of God. And then you think, okay, it's going to end right there. But he surrenders to providence and prays, but he also plans. The king also told Zadok, the priest, look, here is my plan. You and Abiathar should return quietly to the city with your son Ahimaaz and Abiathar's son Jonathan. I will stop at the shallows of the Jordan River and wait there for a report from you. He's going to go, we're going to go get everybody out of here, get out of harm's way, way out in the wilderness somewhere at the shallows of the Jordan River. So Zadok and Abiathar took the ark of God back to the city and stayed there. David walked up the road to the Mount of Olives, weeping as he went. His head was covered and his feet were bare as a sign of mourning. And the people who were with him covered their heads and wept as they climbed the hill. I don't know if that's where you're at today, maybe a little bit in your life. And maybe it's not catastrophic like you've lost your kingdom, but just difficult, challenging stuff going on. I was talking to a girl here last night. Her name's Pichet. We call her Peaches because I can't say Pichet right, I guess. So she just says use Peaches. And she was talking about, I don't even know what I'm doing here at church today. Because life right now is just, for me. And not like crisis and terrible things going on, but just kind of like, And she said, I felt like I was supposed to be here. That's maybe as you today, a little bit. Wondering it's Super Bowl Sunday. We could be home barbecuing, smoking some meat, getting ready for a party. Because the truth is I don't care who wins the game as long as the food is good. So, maybe it's coming out and yet you're here today going, what am I doing here? You might be here today, kind of like David, just, this is not a big moment of happiness and joy for them. Like David's going, what is going on here, God? What in the world is going on here? When someone told David that his advisor Ahithophel was now backing Absalom, David prayed, oh Lord, let Ahithophel give Absalom foolish advice. He prays again. God, you know why he has to pray for that? Because he knows Ahithophel. And he knows Ahithophel is a smart guy, is a wise guy, is a gifted leader. So God, if he gives him the kind of advice, if he gives Absalom the kind of advice he gives me, I'm never getting back to be the king again, and we're going to be done out in the wilderness forever. Could end up being dead or attacked and killed by this coup, this conspiracy that is going on. It's interesting here that David does not pray, oh Lord, poison his wine with strychnine. Oh God, let his chariot get into an accident on the Hebron-Judea freeway system. Doesn't do any of that. God just prays. But then he also, again, plans. Look what happens next. When David reached the summit of the Mount of Olives, where people worship God, Hushai the Archite was waiting there for him. Hushai had torn his clothing and put dirt on his head as a sign of mourning. Hushai is like Ahithophel. He's one of David's key advisors, one of David's key leaders in his cabinet. But David told him, if you go with me, you will only be a burden. Return to Jerusalem and tell Absalom, I will now be your advisor, O king, just as I was your father's advisor in the past. Then you can frustrate and counter Ahithophel's advice. What he said is, I want you to give him bad advice, dumb advice on purpose. See the right thing, the wise thing to do, and figure out some way to give him other advice so that Ahithophel and Absalom don't gain in power. Zadok and Abiathar the priests will be there. Tell them about the plans being made in the king's palace, and they'll send their sons, Ahimaaz and Jonathan, tell me what's going on. They're going to be little messenger boys that will leave the city and communicate what's going on at the palace. So David's friend Hushai returned to Jerusalem, getting there just as Absalom arrived. Interesting events that happen here. This coup, this conspiracy, what Absalom does to make it all happen. And you see here with David a sense of trusting God. He prayed to God in crisis. God, Ahithophel, who's a great God, make him give weak advice. He says, God, if you're done with me, you're done with me. He trusts God's providence, and yet he also makes plans. The theologians, the people that are really smart, people that work at colleges and stuff and write books, call these two things here the doctrine of divine sovereignty and human responsibility. Now, whenever they talk, people that are smarter than I am, that write books about how to do church and make it grow, they tell pastors like me, when you get up to preach and speak, don't use big words. Sovereign, divine, don't use big words. And my response to that is, okay, that's probably a good idea, but I've heard you order coffee. You can do big words. Triple foam soy latte caramel macchiato with a half shot. It takes you 27 seconds to order coffee. We can do big words. Human responsibility is an important one. That's a fairly easy one, right? What that means is we as human beings make real choices and we're responsible and accountable for those choices. Divine sovereignty. What is that? What's that all about? Well, the theologians and people who are really smart write books about it, and there's posts about this all over the internet. I got this one here. It'll be up on the screen here. This says this. The definition of divine sovereignty is this. God is supreme, absolute ruler of the universe, possessing total authority, power, and control over all creation. Leave it up there for a second if you want to get a shot of that or write it down some more. Here's what's important about that. We sang a song about that this morning. That last song you sang before Jeremy got up here and I got up here, there's never been a day, there's never been a minute, there's never been a moment when you were not in it. That's what sovereignty is that God's in charge of everything. God never looks at your life and goes, oh, I didn't see that one coming. Never. God never freaks out. God never goes, okay, we got to go get the angels and the Holy Spirit together. Let's figure out the plan for this, because they have control. Everything's under their ultimate. Nothing happens in the world that God does not either cause or allow to happen. So we see here this mixture of God's sovereign plan and human responsibility, where David trusts the sovereignty of God and yet makes plans himself. And sometimes what happens is we sometimes think that accepting God's absolute sovereignty means we just sit on our hands. We just sit back and I'm just going to trust God on this. And usually we do that because we're lazy. We're not trusting God at all. We just don't want to work that hard. At some point you go, okay, God's got sovereignty. He's doing things here in the world. He doesn't call me to sit in my hands. The sovereignty of God doesn't stifle, but it stimulates and releases human resourcefulness and ingenuity. See, guys, I know this, but let me give you some hooks on this, and by my own life, I've seen this happen over and over again. It means this. Number one, if you write some things down here on that note sheet in the back of your program, that God is fully sovereign, yet humans make real choices. There's a verse in Psalm 115, verse 3, it says, our God is in the heavens. He does all that he pleases. And then it's weird because over in Joshua, Joshua speaking for God says to the nation of Israel, hey, human beings, choose this day who you'll serve. So we make real choices out there. And there's two different kind of camps of thought. And those of you who've been Christians a long time, you've heard this before. If you're newer at this, what has happened over the years since about, 500 years ago, a guy named John Calvin was around. And he had these doctrines he put together where it stresses and emphasizes the sovereignty of God. It's called Calvinism. And there's some churches and some Christian groups of people that are all into Calvinism and the sovereignty of God and all that kind of thing. And then over here on the other side is what's called Arminianism. Arminianism, it's not a new restaurant in town. Arminianism it really stresses the free will and the responsibility of human beings. And so as you look at that, it's tricky right now. As you study that yourself, you can go home today and both sides have Bible verses that absolutely prove their case. So they both have things there. If you're ever part of a church, ever part of a group, ever part of a college or anything, and all they do is stress one over the other, you're in the wrong place. Because they're missing the whole point there. Because number 2, it says this: human responsibility and God's sovereignty are not contradictory. You might want to write down human responsibility and God's sovereignty are a mystery, but they're not contradictory. These things don't contradict. They're a paradox. And here's our problem, is we're trying to figure it all out. See, that's what theological systems try to do sometimes, is make it all make sense to us. Guys, I don't want a God. God makes sense to us, but there's some parts of who God is and how he operates that my little pea brain can't understand. And neither can yours. Some of you say, oh yeah, I want to study it and figure it out. No, you can't. Who wants a God you could get all figured out? A God that I could figure out would not be a God worth following. Would not be a God worth following. So just keep that in mind here. I love what Philippians, I want you to see this. Turn out of Samuel here. Go back to what's called the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians. I got this underlined in my Bible. Then there's the book of Philippians. I saw this several years ago, and it's just so dang good because it has this idea of human responsibility and divine sovereignty all in the same, like 17 words. In Philippians chapter 2, look at the end of verse 12. Paul says this, work hard to show the results of your salvation, obeying God with deep reverence and fear. So who do you suppose, what is Paul emphasizing there? Divine sovereignty or human responsibility? Human responsibility, come on, work hard. Show the results of your salvation. Obeying God, it's up to you to make this happen. Come on, get with it. And then the next sentence, he doesn't even wait like 3 paragraphs. The next sentence, he says this, for God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do it please. You know what he's saying there? The only reason you can live the Christian life is because God gives you the power to do it. God gives you the impulse to do it and the power to do it. So the big question here is, so is God responsible or are we? And the answer is yep. Yep. We're both responsible in that. And you should embrace that as a mystery and a paradox, not as a contradiction out there. I love a great verse here that's on the note sheet there over in Proverbs 21. I have in my Bible a VIP next to a very important proverb next to this one. Proverbs 21:31 has been so helpful for me in leading my family, in leading a small group, in leading a business, in leading a church. I love this. It says this, the horse is prepared for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. Sometimes people people that stress one or the other, people that think that the victory belongs to the Lord, you know what they do? Well, victory belongs to God. I sit back here and play Fortnite and eat Cheetos. Which, again, we just kind of rest and relax, and it's an excuse for laziness and passivity. The people who think that stress the whole idea of the horse prepared for battle, they work like maniacs. And sometimes you go, hey, would you take a second and just stop and breathe? That you think you're going to control this, you're going to get this all worked out? Please, dude. So both of those things are true, which means then that victory in my marriage, in my company, in my finances belongs to the Lord. But if the horse is not prepared for the day of battle, victory's not going to belong to the Lord. He can't do anything. It's a little bit like the analogy I heard years ago of like, you can't steer a ship that's not moving. You know, that's right? If the ship isn't moving, you can turn the rudder all you want. You know what's going to happen to that boat? Nothing. So it's my job, put the engine on it, get the sail set, prepare the thing for battle, and then trust that God's going to change the winds and move things and steer the ship where he wants it to go. Proverbs 16 verse 9 says this, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And guys, if you would just get that in your head, you're called to make plans. And what that will do for you is give you boldness in making plans. You don't sit back and go, God just determines the steps. No, I make my plans, and I can trust then that as I'm making a decision to move somewhere, or to change jobs somewhere, or to buy a car, or go on a vacation. I don't know. I hope none of the rest of you leave because you guys are awesome here, but to move to Texas or to Idaho or wherever it might be, you can trust that God's got this thing. I'm going to make some plans. I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to trust in God and listen for his voice in that. And God's voice sometimes speaks out loud or in your heart and mind and soul and spirit. Sometimes God's voice speaks in the scriptures. Sometimes God's voice is going to speak through smart, wise people around you who care about you and love you. Hear God's voice in a lot of different ways. I love Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It's a sort of a famous verse that starts off, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. That's the old school Bible that does that way. Eugene Peterson, I love this guy, wrote a translation Bible called The Message. I love how Eugene Peterson does it in The Message. Look at this. Trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Some of you, the reason you have anxiety problems, some of you, the reason you have no more hair anymore, shut up, is you're trying to do this. I'm the worst at this, trying to get it all figured out. I think if I just work hard and just do that commitment to excellence and doing your best is a little overrated, guys. A little overrated. When you try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do, everywhere you go. He's the one who will keep you on track. Don't assume that you know it all. Yes, your choices matter. Nope, you're not in charge. You choose, God orchestrates, try to keep up. And some of you are going, well, how come God isn't more clear? Because if God, here's what I know. If God spelled it out specifically to me, I would go running. If God told me in advance all the things that are going to happen in my marriage, with my kids, with everything going on in my life, I'm going somewhere else here. The reason God doesn't spell it all out and make it all crystal clear sometimes, because he knows us. He knows you're going to trust me not for 3 miles down the road. Next step. Just trust me, take the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and trust that he's going to guide you in all that you do. And sometimes what it feels like to do that, it can be really, really tricky when it feels like to do it. I found this great little reel from a guy named Sheldon. Check it out.
Why? Why? Oh, that's why.
Sometimes that's what it's like. We go, why? And we turn around, okay, and then God puts it together for us. And then when you're seeking God, whether it's a crisis in your life right now, like David has going on, and a coup and a conspiracy, or it's just a cool opportunity about some big decision you're making, and you're seeking God about that area of your life over here, and yet over here in this area of your life, there's some clear things that God's laid out for you that you're just not doing, you're not following through on. And what we love to do, whether you're a Christian or not, we will love to go, yeah, but God's a gracious God. He knows I have a good heart. But you're blatantly just not doing what he's told you to do. I want to tell you here, if you want God, why would you expect God to help you in this area of your life when you're ignoring him in that one? Because most of you got to get that straightened up first. Now, for those of you like me that are tightly wound, overachieving, over-compliant, firstborn children like me, you can hear this and go, oh my gosh, I got all these. He's not looking for perfection. He's not saying you have to be perfect and get your act together here. What I'm saying here is this. Is there some area of my life where God's been crystal clear in the scriptures? And I haven't done what he said, and I know what he wants me to do. It might be a small thing, it might be a big thing, but I haven't been clear on that. Some step of obedience he's asking me to take, and now I'm in the middle of trying to figure out about moving somewhere or changing careers or going to school or whatever it is. He says, hey, pay attention to all of it. That's why I think it's so good. Psalm 139, 23 and 24. It's so dang good. It says this, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and test me, know my anxious thoughts. And then it says this, God, point out anything in me that's offensive to you. You know why you have to pray that sometimes? Because what's offensive to God isn't always offensive to me. Sometimes I'm just dumb. I don't see things yet. I got blind spots in my life. So God, whether there's blind spots and I'm ignoring you and it's impacting my life, God, point that stuff out to me. I want to know what that is so I can align up my life with you. And then I love here, number 3 here, is that God uses human actions, good and bad, to accomplish his purposes. All of us would agree with the first part. That God uses human actions, the good ones, for his purposes, right? That's awesome. It's amazing. Even the bad stuff he uses. Some of you are sitting here, I could bring up, I know some of your stories out here. I could bring you up here today and let you look at these people and share about your story about how, man, it was terrible and awful and I didn't see the signs of God in my life had disappeared completely. I didn't know what God was doing. I didn't see him, didn't sense him, didn't know what was going on. And you look back on that and go, that was the moment. It was those moments, that dark time, that dark valley, those challenging times of asking questions and doubting my faith where things became real for me. And all of a sudden, man, things changed for me. Reminds me of the account of Joseph in the book of Genesis. Joseph is the punk little brother, and he's dad's favorite. Anybody in a family where there was multiple brothers and sisters, and everybody knew who dad's or mom's favorite was? Oh, not your family, just mine? No. And it just spoiled and rotten, and Joseph would have these visions and dreams about how great he was. He'd tell his brothers all about it. Look, I'm going to rule over you guys someday, whatever. And at some point, they had it with him. They're done with him. And so they take him, they throw him in a pit to kill him, and then they go, we can make some money off this guy. And they see this band of Egyptians, like a caravan there, and they get Joseph out of the pit, and they sell him into slavery into Egypt. Just a band of into slavery in Egypt. And in Egypt, he becomes a slave of somebody, a key person in the military, and that guy's wife accuses Joseph falsely of attempted sexual assault. And Joseph gets thrown into prison. And our prisons today are not good places at all. Prisons back then were dungeon pits, it was a nasty place in there. He's down there in the prison, and he's just, okay, God, the signs of God have disappeared from his life. Then a guy in there who's one of the Pharaoh's key advisors is in there accused of a crime, and he has this crazy dream. And Joseph interprets the dream for him. Joseph has that ability to do that. He says, hey, when you get out of here, you're going to get out of here in a few days. That's what the dream means. And when you get back to the palace, remember me down here. I have nobody out there looking out for me. Just look out for me, and he gets out there. So the guy gets out of prison, goes back to the palace, and totally forgets about Joseph. He's just stuck down there. I know all Joseph thinks is, I'm here for life. Be here for life. Then Pharaoh has a dream. Pharaoh has a dream about 7 big, fat, burly cows, and then 7 scrawny, Walking Dead cows, And so what happened here, the 7 scrawny cows came up out of the valley, and they devoured the 7 fat cows. And Pharaoh has that dream, and he goes, I don't know what is going on here? And the guy that got put back into the palace goes, oh yeah, I know a guy who knows about dreams. Get Joseph all cleaned up. Pharaoh tells him the dream. Joseph tells him what the dream means, and then gives him the action plan for it. Hey, what this means is there's going to be 7 years of just economic prosperity. The grain harvests are going to be bursting out there, and then 7 scrawny years are coming. So, King, we should set aside, and don't go crazy here, but we should set aside the surplus here and have it for when the 7 scrawny years come. So we're ready for that. And the king sees the wisdom of that and promotes Joseph to second in command in Egypt. And then they set aside the grain, and then the famine comes. Not a worldwide famine, but like a regional famine, and everybody's starving. Nobody has food. Guess where everybody's going for grain? To Egypt. And then one day, Judah and Reuben and Asher and all of them show up. They have no idea that that's Joseph up there, second in command in Egypt, asking him for grain. And if I'm Joseph, and my brothers who did this to me ask me for grain, you know what I'm doing? I got your grain right here, pal. I mean, it's a chance for revenge and all that. And then he takes a moment and reveals to them who he is. I am Joseph, your brother, who you sold into slavery. You can imagine what those guys thought at that moment. Oh, that would have been, there would have, oof. And Joseph says to them, hey, relax, guys. Relax. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. Genesis 50, verse 20 says this, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. See that? Human responsibility and accountability and divine sovereignty here in this. And that's just a pale shadow of what happens thousands of years later when a man named Jesus shows up and claims to be God, fully man, lives the life we're supposed to live, dies in our place, the death we deserve to die. He then rises from the dead, ascends back up to heaven, and he tells his followers, wait for the Holy Spirit to come. They say, well, how do we know the Holy Spirit's going to come? He says, trust me, you're going to know. About 40 days later, all of a sudden, they're in this room up in Jerusalem, and all of a sudden, everybody hears this, this storm of a wind, and they don't see any wind. Nothing's moving, just the sound is going everywhere, and all of a sudden, over these people that are followers of Jesus, flames of fire just burst. They're not burning up, but flames of fire over their heads, and they start speaking in languages they don't know, telling about who Jesus is in languages they don't know, because from all over the world, people have gathered here for Passover and the Pentecost festival, and the people there that are seeing this, the leaders go, these guys are drunk, and Peter goes, man, the liquor stores aren't even open yet, pal. We can't be drunk. This is what Jesus talked about, that someday, because of what he did on that cross and all that he would send the Spirit here. He says, this man Jesus, Acts 2:23 says this way, this man Jesus was handed over to you by God's deliberate plan and foreknowledge. See that there? Divine sovereignty. God did this. God caused this. God allowed this. God did this. And you, with the help of wicked men, put him to death by nailing him to the cross. See what happens there? Both things are true here. These human beings are accountable and responsible for a plan that God had determined in advance was going to happen. And on the worst day in human history, corrupt leaders, fearful disciples, and a brutal empire did exactly what they wanted to do. And yet on that day, their combined failure, God accomplished through his divine plan and sovereignty the salvation of the world. See, human sin nailed Jesus to the cross. Divine sovereignty turned it into redemption. This is how both these things work together so beautifully and powerfully. Which means for you today, whether you're in a big situation of making big decisions about something, I'm not sure what to do here. Do I pray? Do I plan? What do I do here? Or maybe you're in a place of just like David, maybe just challenging, difficult circumstances right now in your life. You can trust God's got you. God's got you. God sees you. God knows what is going on here. Which is why, guys, every time we get together, we take a few minutes here, not just at the beginning of the service, but at the end, to sing some songs together, to let this move from here in our heads down into our guts. So it moves from like this conviction of our heart and soul, not just something we learned about, some bald guy yelling at us for 45 minutes. And so if you're here today and you got big decisions you're making, or maybe like David, like, man, life is challenging and difficult right now, don't just sit there at your seat while we sing these songs, the lights go down. Go to the back. Our prayer team's at the back there. They'd love to pray with you about this. And sometimes what happens with prayer, people have said this. I'll talk to people. How come you didn't go back there and get prayer for that? Well, it just seems like such a small, I don't want to bother God with it. Trust me, guys. An infinite creator is not stressed out by your problems. He doesn't look at your problems as big or small. When you're infinite power, infinite mind, infinite resources, nothing's a big deal to you or a small deal to you. So go back there. Let them pray with you and pray for you about that. And then invite you to tables of communion in the four corners of the room. It's bread and juice that celebrate and symbolize the body and the blood of Jesus given for us. And so today, maybe it's this. Maybe with communion today, as you go there and eat that bread and drink that juice, you can remember that on the darkest day in human history, when it seemed like God had abandoned the planet, we sing a song here called All Hail King Jesus. I'm not doing it today. It's a great song, though. It says, on the darkest day in human history, when it seemed like God was gone and done, the Son of God was on the move. Some of you need to know that today by receiving communion. Some of you need to know that today because you think, well, my life is good right now. It's coming, pal. At some point, stuff's coming. Stuff is going to come for you. You need to file this away. Remember that even when it seems like God's not around and my plans are not working, I don't see the sovereign plan of anywhere going on there, God is always working. God is always working, oftentimes in ways we don't see. So come and pray today. Come and receive communion and remember Jesus today. And then let's sing with all of our hearts today. Jesus, today, we take a moment here. God, like the song we're about to sing here, God, we just want to sit here at your feet. And God, we're sorry when we just go through the motions, when we come with our agenda, God. We're not here for blessings. You don't owe us anything. And more than anything that you can do, we just want you.
Caught up in your presence, and I just want to sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. I never want else will do. I just want you and nothing else, and nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, Jesus, nothing else will do. I'm caught up in your presence, and I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. I never wanna leave. Oh, I'm not here for blessings, Jesus. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. And only you, Jesus. Who thought I'd find you at the lowest place? Who thought you'd fill me in the crowd? Who knew you'd make good of my mistakes? You're nothing like I thought you were. You're better. What a God, what a God. What a God, what a God. Oh, what a God, what a God. It's who you are. What a God, what a God. I thought you'd show up for perfection. What kind of God looks for the lost? They say it's over for the sinner. Or did you say, no it's not, no it's not? You said, no it's not, no it's not. What a God, what a God. 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 Yes. What a God, what a God. Oh, what a God, what a God.
If the highest place I reach is at your feet, then I've done it all. If the best thing that I've seen is your glory, then I've seen it all. Your love has changed my life, forever satisfied, God. You are my everything. If the highest place I reach is at your feet, then I've done it all. If the best thing that I've seen is your glory, then I've seen it all. Your love has changed my life, forever satisfied, God. You are my everything. Come on. If a one word is the only thing you speak, then I've heard it all. If I feel your heart and never see your hand, I still have it all. Your treasure of this life, forever satisfied, God. You are my everything, God. You are my everything. Oh God, you are my what a God, what a God. What a God, what a God, yeah. What a God, what a God. What a God, what a God, yeah. If the highest place I reach is at your feet, then I've done it all. If the best thing that I've seen is your glory, then I've seen it all. Your love has changed my life, forever satisfied, God. You are my everything. If a one word is the only thing you speak, then I've heard it all. If I feel your heart and never see your hand, I still have it all. Your treasure of this life could ever satisfy, God. You are my everything. Oh God, you are my everything. God, you are my everything.
You're my everything, God. God, would that be our prayer right here in this moment, that we wouldn't let this time pass us by? God, that you would be everything that we need, everything that we want, all of our heart's desire. Lord, that we would open our hands, we would relinquish control. We would let you be on the throne as you are. That you would be sovereign in our lives. That you would rule and you would reign, and everything that your word tells us, everything that you've told us about who you are and what you have done, that we would believe. And that we would live in a way that declares that we believe who you are. God, that you are who you say you are, and you will do what you say that you will do, because you are able and you are faithful, God. I just praise you, Jesus. Praise you, Jesus. From the beginning, you've been unchanging. Age to age you stay. Constant you remain. Every mystery, the questions I've carried are safe within your will. So I trust you even still. I believe you are who you say you are. You'll do what you say you'll do. You'll come through. You are always able. I believe you've already made a this firm foundation cannot be shaken.
So God, with our mouths, with our everyday lives, and God, now even with our money, we declare that you are sovereign, that you are king, and that you are in control. And we give to you, God, now out of gratitude and worshipful trust that you got us, that you even got our money. Amen. Hey, as the host passed the buckets through, drop your connection card in there, along with your giving, if you happen to bring that with you today. As those buckets go on by, one of the things would encourage you. I was talking to a lady after church today. She said, I needed this message last week, not this week. Well, one of the ways you can get kind of preloaded for what's going on here, the bottom of the note sheet is the script for what's coming up next weekend. So you'll get more out of this if you come a little prepared. So as you're getting up on Sunday morning or Saturday, whatever, read ahead and see what's coming up here. You'll enjoy it better. You'll like it more. Don't know what your plans are for today, if you're there for the game or there for the commercials or there for the food. I'm there for the food. Whatever that means, that's exciting and amazing. Before you head on out to whatever you're doing, the game doesn't start for 3 hours. So you don't have to rush home for anything right now. Find someone here in the house who you haven't yet met, who you don't know, and just say hey to them. Maybe find out what they're doing today for the game. Maybe they're taking a nap. We'll see. Thanks for coming today, guys. We'll see you next time.